Hello everyone, we're unboxing a new Hisense TV today. I'm joined with Mr. Massimo Coccomillo, my brother, who you'll probably know if you watch videos like a while ago. He used to do all the voiceover before he abandoned me and made me do them myself. But I actually prefer doing it now, and there's less mistakes. So Hisense sent me this 100-inch U7 TV. So this is one of their newer models. Well, it's not new, but it is one of their new 100-inch models. It's one of the only 100-inch models with the 165 hertz game mode available on the market. I am doing this review with their new HT Saturn sound system, which hasn't arrived yet. I'm just waiting for that to arrive. But in the meantime, I thought we would unbox this thing and set it up. This TV's 100 inches. It is a bit smaller than what was the one in December? It was 115. I mean, it was intense. I mean, that thing was like 300 kilograms. I'm hoping that this is a bit smoother than that, because that experience was a bit overwhelming, especially the box having to like come apart. Remember, I thought that it was going to tilt over, and that was like really, I was stressed that day. I'm not going to lie. What else do we have here? We have 165 hertz game mode, which I'm interested to see. Built-in subwoofer, which is kind of normal. It does run VIDA, and the retail price, I think I've seen this for 39,999 on sale, but I think it retails for 59,999. Oh, I hate when boxes arrive and they're dirty. This box also comes apart, so it's very similar. In the box we have some accessories. It's cool, it's clean, but it is a nice remote. I mean, it's plastic, but it is a nice clean remote. I like that this is just empty and everything's up top here. Just so you know, all Hisense TV remotes work on all Hisense TVs. If you have a friend that has like a really fancy remote and you like it, just steal it and it will work. And it comes with the normal killer plug power outlet thing. Yo, my brain's not working today. What else is in here? Little screw things, batteries for the remote. Yeah, and that's basically it. Then the next step of the instructions say we should take everything out, open the bottom flaps, pull apart the things, leave the middle polystyrene in like last time. You put the legs on, pick it up and put it on the stand. It says the legs shouldn't go over the TV stand, and I think our legs are going to go over the TV stand, so we're going to basically break the law now. But on each side of the top here we have the leg. Nothing really to go on about here. So we're removing this. Yeah, let's remove the front and the back. Okay, I'll hold the front. Will this be able to leave the room in this current state? Which is the back and the front for you? You can see that these TVs are only for like the really rich people who have giant mansions. They don't have to worry about how high their roof is. Then the front. Yeah, see like this now we could stand up. And then the sides. No, the instructions say that you pull the sides out and then it doesn't go anywhere. So the middle part should keep it like together.
Should we do a test?
Do a test?
Hold on, you ready? I'll watch the back, you watch the front.
Yeah, this shit's gonna fall over.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, you're gonna have to hold it up and I'll just screw the stand in. I just don't trust this stuff. The legs just go in after you remove the sides. They just clip in nice. Hopefully they go on, the left one can go on the right one. It's a very low profile TV, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, the stand is right on the TV. I appreciate, but I always think that if a TV is like 100 inches, it should have two options as a stand. It should have a stand for a TV stand, and then one that's maybe the legs are higher so the TV can stand without a stand on the floor, you know, like a showpiece. Because the TV is so big, it should stand on its own on the floor, maybe half a meter off the floor.
Yeah.
Stand number 2, or leg. It's not a stand, it's a leg. There's no handles on this. I thought there were handles. Okay, I can move it up a bit. So down there is my other TV. Behind there, that little black mark there. Yeah, that's my TV. And it just fits on this counter.
Yeah, I mean, look at that. One finger space left. You guys don't want to see what it looks like behind you.
Do you know how much technology I have in this room? The amount of cables that I need. It's impossible to make this neat. Also, no. In my defense, I could make it neat, but that would mean permanently putting cables in places, and the amount of stuff that I have to unplug and plug into stream and review and test, it's not feasible. Well, you show me, you plug in a PS3 and a Wii U, PSVR charger, and 2 Nintendo Switches, and a PS5, and a PC, and 2 TVs, and you make it look neat.
All I need is a day.
Okay. Be neat now. It's a matte.
It's actually really nice.
That's really nice, yeah. Look how nice and matte that is. That sounds like something's dying. Okay, so setup process is pretty simple. You can download the app if you want. I usually just do as basic as possible, and then I go later and I do the thing. The UI looks a little bit different. Watch list things new, that source things new as well. If you go left, it should take you to that. What's the notification? I don't want notifications for anything. Look what I'm watching. Jerry Springer. I already noticed one thing that I'm not happy with. Oh, there's an update. Okay. So we're doing the update. So yeah, the TV setup, I've done 2 software upgrades now on it since I've installed it. It's looking really good. I'm going to obviously spend the next few days fiddling with features, trying out the game mode, testing out that 165 Hertz thing. But I did do a little bit of calibration here. I just turned the backlight to max. I increased the brightness by 1. I reduced the sharpness. I increased the saturation. There's a few things here I tweaked as well. I left the peak brightness and local dimming on high. Obviously, I have to just check if that's going to crush any whites or over brighten any shots, so that will take a few days to test out. And then AR brightness burst, I don't know what that is, but I assume that it will take like the specular highlights and boost them to whatever the peak brightness is of the TV, which I'm not sure what the peak brightness is at this point. Obviously I'll have to do tests on that. Dark detail you won't use. I don't use it. It's for like, I think it's more for like gaming. If you're playing like competitive games, you can see in the dark. Light sensor is off, obviously leave that off. Adaptive contrast, I usually go to low. It does make quite a big difference. Color, I move to standard. I usually keep it on warm, but it seems like this panel is a bit too warm for warm 2, where cool is a bit too blue. So I did go to standard, and that seems like the good middle ground. Color gamut, I just went to auto, then dynamic color enhancer as well. I have to just see. It just seems like it really punches up the color. It might just be a bit too much for me. Color tuner, you won't touch unless you've got a calibration system. Clarity, I turned all that off as usual. I just don't believe that should be on. Super resolution as well, I think it just over sharpens, but that's also up to your personal preference. Ultra smooth motion has to be off, clear motion must be off. And yeah, apart from that, there's nothing different from this TV to say like the U8N I use. AI energy mode is new. I'm not sure if it's got to do with your location, your power usage or whatever. And then AI picture optimization I'll also leave off. I'll have to test it because on some of the TVs it changes the TV picture too drastically for me, so I kind of leave it off. And then sound is the same. I mean, it's got a subwoofer built in, so I'm gonna have to just fiddle with that and see how that works. Apart from that, everything is what you know. This karaoke mode is new. I haven't seen on any Hisense TV, so I'm actually keen to see what that's about. System, everything is similar here, still same. That's it for now. It's really pretty, not as bright as the U8N that I use, but the size might make up for it. And I'll be reporting back on whether or not this is probably one of the more affordable, because this is one of the more affordable 100-inch TVs that you can get on the market. So we'll have to see how that goes. Let's play some Mario Kart.